Right. Gang's all here, except for Derek, but I'm sure we'll squeeze in. How's everybody doing? Good.
Not too shabby.
There you go. Very
Doing
good.
good. How are you?
I'm
Yeah, how are you?
fantastic. Things are going well. All right. Any questions before we get started? Everybody's good? All right. Okay, I'll move over here. So, week three. So we're halfway done with this bad boy. 2 more weeks. Well, this week and next week of me, and then no more me. All Derek. I'll be here, but he'll teach. So it'll be good. Um, so this week is fun because we get to actually start connecting the front end to the back end. So we've learned both sides, but we haven't connected them. So now we get to bring them all together. So it's very, very fancy, very fun. So yeah, so we'll just go over the little uh, thing here, and then hopefully have some time to do a little bit of code just so we can see um, how it works. And then Saturday we'll actually, you guys will get in there and start attaching your front end and your back end and making the magic happen. So that's what we good. All right. So we've been using curl, right, to test out our back end to hit our endpoints. From the front end, we're going to use the fetch API, which is a built-in JavaScript API. And remember, API is application programming interface. That's just a the way we're going to talk code to code, right? It's just an interface we can use to make the code talk to each other. And so it's just a function. That's all it is. And so you can kind of see right here, you use just fetch like a function, right? So fetch and then whatever you're going to pass to it. In this case, we're going to pass to it the endpoint that we're trying to hit. And then this will go and find this endpoint. So on our server, our backend server, and it'll hit it, and then it'll do whatever the server's going to do, and then it'll spit it back to us as a response. So that's the whole request response thing that we've been talking about. Instead of the curl being our request, we're going to use this fetch as our request. Okay. It is asynchronous, meaning that it's a promise. So when we send it, we have to have an async function, and then we have to await the response because, as we said, it might take a little bit to go to the database or whatever it is you're running on your server. It could take some time, so we want to make sure we're awaiting that. So when it comes back, we can then do whatever we want with it. Um, you'll see functions kind of written different ways. This is a traditional way of doing it. You may see it like, let me see if I have it anywhere else. Um, Probably not, but we'll show you later. But more of like the fat arrow kind of function thing. But it's all the same, just different ways to write the same thing. Cool. Okay. Let's see. So, oh, we're gonna get to cores in a second, so I won't get into that yet. But so to do a GET request, it's just like with our curl. All we need to pass it is the URL, right? So let me show actually if I can show my curl just for comparison's sake. Yeah. Okay. Oh. So in our code, here's how we wrote our curl, right? Our get curl or our curl get, just the URL. That's all we had to pass, right? Oh man. Okay. For fetch, same thing. If it's a get, all you gotta do is pass that URL endpoint that you're trying to hit. Okay. And you're gonna await the response. So when you get the response back, that's gonna be whatever comes back from the server. We're gonna get that back, and then we're gonna um, turn it into JSON because it's gonna come back as a response object, which we need to then turn into JSON so we can actually get the data out of it. Now, as we go through, this will make more sense. But that's how it'll come back. So instead of curl, we're gonna use fetch, hit the server, do whatever it's gonna do. If it needs to go to the database, can. If not, it can do whatever. Come back, we'll get the response, make it into data, use it. Okay, that's pretty much the flow with everything we're gonna do. Post request is the same thing, just we have to have, just like we did with the curl, we have to have the method of post, the headers, and then the body, right? So if we look at our code again, it's not going to come up for me. Maybe in a pain. Oh, that's the wrong one. There we go. Sometimes my like the bottom bar just won't come up anymore. It's just being weird. If I'm on multiple screens. That's how you're gonna play me? Oh, come on. Okay, hold on. I gotta get off multiple screens. See if that worked. Hey, there we go. Okay. Okay. So for a post, as we did here, you can see that we have um, we're telling it it's a post. So that's the method, right? We're telling it, giving it the header. It's going to be JSON, and then we're giving it the data or the body. So same thing with the fetch. We're telling it's post. We're giving it the headers. We're telling it we're going to pass the JSON body. So same thing. This is all exactly what we've done before, just doing it a little bit different from the front end versus a curl. Okay. And then again, it's just going to be the same over and over. Put, just like we did. Um, we're going to pass that ID parameter like we did before with the put, because remember the put is the update. So we got to tell it which one we want to update. We can tell it the method put, give it the headers, give it the body. Rinse, repeat, right? Delete, same way. The only thing, or the same thing we only need to give it is the URL with that ID and then the method. So it's just like a get one. If you're going to get one thing, you just pass the ID. Same thing with delete. You just tell it it's delete instead. So again, same thing we've done with curl. We're just doing it from the front end. Questions on that? I think I hammered that in pretty good. Cool. Okay. All right, now cores. So right now, if we were to go into our JavaScript and put one of these in here, in there, and try to run it, it would give us an error, and we'll see that here in a little bit. And the error it would give us is called a CORS error, which is cross-origin resource sharing. And the reason is, like it says here, browsers block requests by default for security if the front end and back end are on different origins or different ports. And that's so that like some rando can't just jump on and hit your server and start stealing your data or do something malicious or whatever. Um, so for development, we need to get around that, obviously, because we need to develop and we need our stuff to be able to talk to each other. So we can just use an NPM package called cores and just add its little middleware. So literally just do like app.use cores. And then if you want to get specific, you can do this down here, but it's fine. You can just do app.use cores. And then that will tell the server, hey, it's okay. We can let in these other routes to do that. When you go to production, it'll be HTTPS instead of HTTP, so it'll be secure already. So then CORS isn't an issue anymore at that point. But this is one thing in the beginning that I did not know about, and I spent probably a good week just beating my head trying to figure out what the heck, why is my stuff not talking to each other? So I'm saving you a lot of pain by telling you about it right now because it was quite a pain. Um, and back then, you had to dig into all sorts of internet stuff to figure stuff out. It's not easy like it is today. Still not easy, but more stuff is apparent. So, okay. So that's cores, easy enough. Some error handling. Have we talked about try catch blocks at all? Not, no. Okay. So, they're a good error handling technique, and basically all it is you just have this like try block and then this catch block. And so what it does is you put whatever you're going to do inside the try block, and if something happens and it errors, then it's going to trigger this catch. And so it's a good way to make sure that you are catching errors and then doing something about them instead of just having an error and then your site crashes or your server crashes or whatever, and you have no idea what happened. So it's a good like defensive technique. And so, like it says, good error handling would be to put your request inside a try block, and then if something were to fail, it's going to give us this error back, and then we can look at whatever that error was. Um, so that way like your user's not sitting there like, what the hell happened? Or, you're not sitting there like, what the hell happened? So we'll try to implement that a lot into the things we do. And really anytime you write something that could potentially return a value that you're not handling, you want to put in a try block. So it doesn't cost you anything. So, better be defensive than not. Um, and then what else we got here? The response object comes with some different status or different things on it. So we can look at them and say, okay, is response.okay true? What's the status code? There's different things we can look at to understand like what the issue is if something comes back as an error, um, and then also be able to present a better error message to our user. Because if they get like server error, I mean, what are they gonna do about that? If we can tell them more specifically, hey, this thing was wrong. Maybe you had a typo in your, I don't know what, in the category or whatever it was. Um, it gives us a better way to be more specific to ourselves and to whoever our user is. And then response.json, we always, there's not an always, most of the time, we want to get our data back as JSON because then we can use that because it's a JSON object, right? So then we can dig into that and display what we want to display. Um, Yep. And we'll see this whole response object, and then we'll see the JSON object as well as we get into it. Okay, questions on that? Good.
Actually, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Okay, so after you do the try and catch, do you do the response dot okay or response dot status to see what happened, or does it automatically do that from the console error?
Yeah. So we could console log the response here if we wanted to, like right under where we get it and look
Hmm.
at it. Um, but typically this is the way it would go. You'd get the response, you'd check if it's not okay. And if it's not okay, then you're gonna throw an error, which will trigger the catch. And then if
See the error, you have to do like the response dot status or something like that.
If you wanted to see the status, yes.
Okay.
But you could just console log response okay and see if that's true. You could do response.status. We'll look at that object and you could do any of it you wanted to, or the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah, but that is up to you. It's not just automatically gonna log it for you unless it does get an error and you have the console error down here, and then you would see it. Yeah, cool. Anything else? All right. So as we know, we were using local storage right in the browser to kind of store all of our stuff, which is fine for limited cases, um, basically until they completely like leave the page, right, or whatever. Um, so it's not a great way to for long-term storage. It's okay for short-term. So we're going to be changing that. So currently we're doing this kind of thing with the local storage.get item and set item. So we're not going to be doing that anymore. We're actually going to be having functions that go hit our server, right? So then our server can go to our database, actually get the data, bring it on back to us so we can then display it. So we'll have the whole full stack experience going on. This doesn't mean that you'll never use local storage again, because this really is a handy thing to have, for instance, for like um, things you want to remember during that like session. So if like if they log in, you probably want to know their name, right? So you would put that in local storage. If you have like preferences or something of theirs that you want to use to like maybe change the page color or whatever it is, however personalized you want to get with it, you can use local storage for that kind of stuff too. So definitely don't forget about it. But for most of the data-driven stuff, it's all going to come from the back end in the database. Okay. Let's talk about loading states. So because it could take a while, right? And a while in computer terms is like 5 seconds. Um, if it takes more than 5 seconds, then people are like, "What the heck happened?" So you want to show some sort of loading thing. You don't want them to just think nothing happened because then they're going to start clicking on everything. So this is talking about having like loading states. So basically, this is going to get the well, you guys know what this does, right? So you have the ID of expense list, query selector, right? So you're going to get that container, and you're going to make it say loading while you then reach out to get those expenses. And then once it's done, which it doesn't show in this little block right here, but then you would change that. Uh, well, no, so this render expense would then render those expenses. So while it's actually in the database, you're just going to show loading. And then once it comes back, you're going to replace that loading with the render expenses function, right? Um, so it's a good thing to do because yeah, if you get on the site and you click like it's annoying to me when I go to like buy something and I click the buy button and then nothing happens. And then I'm like, well, did I click it hard enough? Do I need to click it again? Are they going to charge me twice? You know, so this is a good way to avoid that. The Pike Pass site, Oklahoma Pike Pass site, notorious for that. It's horrible. So yeah, I don't know. It should give you hope that you can get hired as a developer because there's that bad of stuff out there. I'm telling you. Yeah, so loading state, pretty important. Okay, so some common mistakes. The CORS error that you'll see. Typically, you just forgot to put the CORS middleware in or don't have the package installed on your back end in your server. Remember, back end server, synonymous. Front end client, synonymous. Database. Um, Body not received typically means you had a missing header or you didn't stringify the JSON to send it over. We'll show you all that stuff. And then promise pending. I used to see this and not know what the heck was going on with the promise pending because you'll see it in your console and you'll be like, what is that? It typically means you forgot to put a wait in your async function, which I've done so many times. So you'll know, and I think actually with the the IDEs like VS Code and stuff are a lot better now about like underlining that and saying, hey, you have an async, but you don't have an await, or vice versa. So that should help you out. But if you do see that in your browser console, that's what it is. There's something is not being awaited for. It's showing you the promise itself instead of what you expect back from the promise. Okay, and then finally this one, if you get an empty body on the server, so if it's just like an empty object, you just probably are missing that middleware piece as well, like the CORS middleware, or actually the Express middleware. Just meaning that it didn't pass it. It probably got passed, but it didn't accept it. So, okay. Question on any of that? All right. Okay, well, let's just jump into some code then. So let me move this over here. Move this over here. Okay, so some examples real quick, and then we'll get into our code. Let me go down here. Okay, so this is a bunch of code. Don't worry about it. This is not exactly what we wrote. This is just some kind of like similar stuff. But if we're in our front end JavaScript, right, and we want to get expenses, we're going to have a function that does that. And so in this case, we're just going to call it get expenses function. And then you notice this does not have a try catch block. It probably could and should. And we'll do one in a second. But so we're declaring a variable response, which is going to await this fetch. So we're going to say, okay, go to this API URL. We're using a variable here. And then this is the endpoint, right? So it's localhost 3000/API/expenses. Okay. And go there and do whatever it is that it's going to do there, and then send it back to us. And then we'll check to see if it response is okay. If it is, cool, we're going to send back that response as JSON. We're going to return it from the function to wherever it's being called from. If not, then we're going to throw this error and just tell them, hey, we failed to fetch the expenses. So it's not too complicated, I don't think. I mean, it's like exactly what we've been doing, just kind of, again, instead of curl, we're doing it here in the front end. So if we were to look on the back end of this, it's going to look like this right here. So app.get, just like we've been doing. The endpoint on this one is /API/expenses. And so that would match up with our /API/expenses, right? And this is pretty common to do like a /API/whatever. Just so you know, all of your API routes, all of your API endpoints are in the API/whatever thing. It's not required by any means, but it's kind of a good convention to do. I just noticed that I put we instead of week 3. Okay. Anyway, so once we come back here, we're not passing anything in the body because it's a get, right? But we're passing a category. No, we're not. You're lying. Okay, I don't know why that's there. Okay, so just imagine this was not here. What we're going to do here is we would go reach the database like we did before, get whatever it is, and then return it back. And so it would actually be more like this guy here. So it would be /API/expenses instead of just expenses, but then it's going to be the same thing. We're going to reach out to the database, select all our stuff, and then send it on back as JSON. And then this would receive it back here as response. Again, we would check it, make sure it's okay, and then return it to wherever this function was called, which would likely be inside of like a pay on load function, like we did. Where's our front end code right here? So yeah, like this DOM content loader function, like this is where we would want to load our expenses, right? Like we're already kind of doing. So we would just, basically we're going to replace this function instead of the local storage bit will be our API routes or our fetch to hit our API. Okay. Same, pretty much exactly the same with all the rest, right? Our create expenses, it's going to be a post. We're going to make sure we have the header, pass the body, whatever the expense that we're trying to put in our database. Just do it like that. And then that would be sent. We'd say, hey, okay, put it in the database. Cool. All right. Tell me if it's successful or not. Okay. We're going to get that response back and then check if it's cool and then send it on back. Just rinse, repeat. Like it's all the same thing. Questions? Pretty clear.
Actually, I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Are we supposed to have backend.js, or is that like a
No,
reference for you?
that's just a reference.
Okay. I was just like, where did that come from? But okay.
Yeah, no, yeah. These are just to show the back end and the front end. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll build ours out. So, let's see. Has some helper functions, but those have nothing to do with this. Render UI. So we already have all that. So yeah, that's pretty much the gist of that. I did want to talk about what was the home. There was something in the homework I wanted to talk about. Let's see. Rich API, cores. I guess that's about it. Okay. Okay. Well, yeah, let's just get into it then. So let's go. Oop, I probably should get that up. Week 3 front end. Yep. Okay. Oh, where did my index go? Server. Okay. Cool. So we have so in our server.js, we have all of our routes already built. They're already hitting the database. We could definitely add, so you can do try catch blocks on the front end and on the back end. So if we wanted to be more um, error handling, we could add try catches back here. For now, it's okay. We'll add some on the front end for practice. So these routes are good. So in our index.js, let's go ahead and start. Oh, so sorry, our server, we need to install cores, right? I know normally y'all don't code on Wednesdays, but are y'all ready? Ready to roll? Do some coding. Cool. Okay. Cool. So let's add on our server.js. Get your terminal up there. Make sure you're in your server folder. Server. Okay. And then once you already do npm install cores, CORS. Just like that. Yeah. Once you have it installed, open your package JSON, which by the way, if you do, I don't know if I told you, but if you do Command P, and then you can search for your file, so you don't have to go over the sidebar and try to find it. So I can just do my package JSON right there.
I've got a quick question.
Yeah.
Mine is telling me I've installed the cores thing, and it's telling me that there's a new version of npm available. And
Mhm.
should I go ahead and do that, or should I just be like, that's nice, thank you, and just move on?
I wouldn't worry about it right now.
Okay. Okay,
Um,
cool.
Normally it's not a big deal. If you're on a bigger project, then you got to see like what changes they made, because if it's going to affect things that you're already using, that could be an issue.
Okay.
But yeah, if you get a couple behind, it's no big deal.
Okay. Thank you.
Mhm. Okay, so in your package JSON, you should now see cores under your dependencies if you installed it. Cool. Okay. Before we actually put it on our server, I want to show you the error that we would see. So I'm going to add, just for funsies, I'm going to make a little function down here. So I'm on our index.js now on our front end, and I'm going to make a function. I'm going to call it an async function. I'm going to call it cores error. Okay, and I'm going to do a try catch block. And then inside here, I'm going to have a fetch. So I'm going to do const response equals fetch. And I'm going to do HTTP :// host 3001, I think. Let me look at my .env. Yep, 3001 for me. And I'm going to do /expenses. And then I'm going to, let's see how we were doing it over here. I'm going to copy this. Up there. Okay, so if response is okay, is not okay, then we're going to say it failed. Otherwise, we're going to return it. And I'm going to call this function in our load here. I'm just going to put it at the top. So cores error, like that. I've already made one error I can see. I don't know if y'all saw it, but we'll see if it'll give it to us. So because we're not using cores, like we haven't actually put the middleware in on our server, this should give us that cores error. It should say you can't reach your server. Okay. So I'm going to now open this bad boy in our page, or in the browser, I should say, over here. And if I do F12, and I put that back over where you can see it, then you'll see right here, cores error. Okay. So that's saying connection refused. This is crazy. You can't do this. Calm down, you know. So now if we go, and sorry, I'll go through that first part again if that was too fast. Was everyone tracking that I called it from here? You want me to go over it again? Okay.
Yes, please.
Okay. Yep. Um, so we made a function, an async function, for cores error that we're going to use to reach to the back through the server and try to get all the expenses. We created the fetch, which again, that's going to replace the curl that we were using. For a GET request, all we need is the URL endpoint. So we just pass that in here, and this is going to hit our expenses route over here on our server right here, right? So just localhost 3001 in my case /expenses. And so if that is successful, then we would get the response. Well, we should get a response either way, unless we are not hitting it, which is what's happening because the core's error. But if we were to get a response, then we would check it, and then we would return it back to um, wherever it's called from. And we're going to call it in this listener that we made. And this listener is listening for the DOM content loaded, which just means when the page loads. So when the page loads, it's going to call this callback function, right? Which is going to call all of these functions. Okay. So when the page loads, when the DOM content is loaded, it's then going to start rattling these things off. And so that's what we see here. Like as soon as the page loads, we see we're getting these errors because it's trying to hit the cores, or I'm sorry, it's trying to hit the back end, but cores is saying you can't do it because you don't have because on a different port, right? A different place. Because you'll notice up here that our local host is using 5500 for the front end server port, and then our back end is on 3001. So it's two different origins. Is that clear? Clearer?
A little bit.
Okay.
I'm having a little bit of trouble like following along whenever you're showing your code. It's cool. One of the main things is cutting off the line numbers,
Oh, okay.
which makes it hard for me to like get to the place to see exactly what you're talking about on my own stuff.
Okay. These line numbers over here.
Yeah, for whatever reason, it's not showing. I'm only seeing one digit on along
Really?
with.
Same
That's
here. Yeah, I was
weird.
struggling with the same thing.
Huh. Wonder why that is. Um, I can make it smaller, maybe. Oh, maybe. If I move it, does that help?
No.
It's almost like it's showing multiple of your screens at a time because we
Uh,
can see over on the right side is your Slack channel,
oh, okay. I wonder what's
or
okay. Let
maybe
me stop
it looks like
sharing.
it's changed.
Let me share again. See. Okay. Is that better?
It fixed it on my screen.
Okay.
Mine
Yes,
too.
that's actually a lot.
Okay. It must have been when I unplugged and plugged back in, got all jacked up. Sorry about that. Okay. I will take it from the top. So yeah, so we're in our index.json, right? So it's our front end, I'm sorry, index.js, our front end JavaScript, right? This is nothing to do with the back end yet. And we're gonna write this function, and this is just to test if cores is working or not. So in this function, we are gonna try to hit this endpoint, the 3001 expenses, which if we go to our server.js, that's just this get route that we made, right? Just slash expenses. And so if we do hit this and it gets all the data back, it's going to return it to us. Um, and if it does and we get a response, then we're going to check the response. If it's bad, we're going to throw an error. If not, we would just return whatever the response is back to where we call the function. So remember when we call a function and we return from it, we would store a variable. So we do something like const return equals, you won't use return, that's a keyword, but like data or whatever. Like this is how you would, if you wanted to store the return value in this data, then this is how you would do that. We don't really need to do that in this case. We're just checking it. So we'll just call the function. So we're calling the function in this event listener that we made, right? So DOM content loaded is the event we're listening for. So whenever the page is loaded, the DOM document object model is loaded, we're then going to do whatever's inside of here with this callback function right here, this fat arrow callback function, which is the greatest name for a function. But so then if it is six, or if whatever happens, we're going to see an error or something come back. And we didn't put anything in our catch right now, but you could just do a console.error for now and just log the error. What we'll do here though is we'll like return something to the client, to the front end to say, hey, something happened, so sorry, refresh your page or whatever it is. Okay, is that clearer?
Yeah, I just need a little bit of time to type out the code.
Okay, I can put it in Slack if it's easier.
Okay, yeah, that would be. Does it matter where we place it in our code?
The function, no. Where we're going to call it, since we want to see it on page load, it needs to be in this listener at the bottom. Okay. Let me throw that in the
Okay.
code or in the Slack for you real quick here. And then I'll throw this content loader in there. Now, do we know why it doesn't matter where we put the function? Can you remember back to module 2?
Because of the piano.
Piano?
Yeah, the piano. Hoisting,
What is it?
hoisting,
Hoisting.
function.
There you go. Perfect.
Hoisting.
Hoisting. Yep. Yep. Yeah, just like you're hoisting the piano outside, just like you said. Yep. Yeah. So it wouldn't matter even we could put this DOM content loader at the top as well. Doesn't matter. All that matters is that we are actually calling this from inside of this DOM content loaded function. So let me know when y'all get the error in your browser.
I think I messed something up.
Okay. You want to share?
Sure.
Okay.
Let's see. Yep. Okay. So whenever I tried to open up everything in
You're just trying to open your JavaScript.
like show, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
just getting.
Show your, oh, you got to open your index.html. You know what I mean? Go back to VS Code.
Yeah. Is it? I thought it was open. Yeah. Oh, HT. Oh, I'm tripping. Okay.
Yep.
That
That'll
was
get you.
heck. Okay.
There you go. Yeah. Now look at your console or your browser console. And then click on console up top.
Mm-hmm.
We'll click on the one at the very top, next to elements. There you go. Why did it look weird? Refresh your page.
Does he need to kill
Uh,
a server and restart it after making the changes?
No, because it shouldn't hit this server yet. And we didn't make, I don't think we made any changes to the server, just to the JavaScript. Click on default levels in that top right corner. Just make sure you got,
Okay. Verbose.
no, just make sure you had errors checked. Okay, let's look at your JavaScript real quick. See what's going on.
I don't know why it's showing boxes now. I don't think I've ever seen that.
I don't know.
But
Let's look at your code. Look at your JavaScript.
this for the server or the index.
The index.
I'm on the index right now.
No, I mean your VS Code. All I'm
Yeah.
seeing is your browser.
Really?
Yeah. Are you
On. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna stop sharing. I think maybe somehow I just shared my window or the browser instead of showing everything.
Gotcha.
Uh, hmm, this one. This one's black. Okay. All right. Sorry, guys. Okay,
You
you
good?
see it now, right?
I
Oh,
just see you right now.
there
There
we
we
go.
go.
All right, you see it now.
Yep.
Okay.
Save your file. There you go. Now open your deal again. There you go.
Okay.
Yep.
It's always the simple things.
Yeah. Are you not a fan of the autosave?
Man, so I am. I haven't set it up in a while. How do you set up autosave again?
Just go to file and then autosave. Keep going down. Right there. That
Okay.
it should be good now. You shouldn't have to do it again.
Okay.
So cool.
All
Yeah.
right.
So you're getting the CORS errors, so you're good to go. Perfect.
Thank you.
Yep. All right. Lauren, oop, I hit the wrong button. Lauren, Elizabeth, y'all both got CORS errors? Or I see a furrowed brow and giggling. I don't know what to make of that.
I'm really having issues. I don't know what my problem is. Um, I'll go ahead and just share my screen.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Suddenly I've just randomly forgotten how I open this up in a browser to see what it looked like. I don't know why I
Yeah.
can't remember this all of a sudden.
It's been a little bit and we've crammed a bunch in your brain. It's okay. Just go over to your index.html on your sidebar
Okay, index.h. Okay.
and
Oh,
right click on it.
okay.
Uh, are you on the right one? I think you touched the CSS. Just
Oh,
click
did
on,
I touch? Okay.
yes,
Do I want?
you want HTML. Yep.
Okay.
Right click there
Okay.
and then open with live server. That top one. Very
Open
top.
with Live Server. Okay.
That should open your browser.
Mhm. I think I was looking for that too. Um, maybe this might have gone off to a different thing here. Come on now. Okay, let me try this again.
And
Hmm.
I think your browser is hidden.
I think it is.
Try
You
toggling and seeing if you can find your browser that way.
Okay. I am not, because there's my browser, but it's not pulling up on my thing.
do you have I wonder if it's trying to open Safari for some reason.
Okay. Should I try open to the side instead and see?
No, because you can't see
Okay.
your console that way.
Okay. Open
Um,
with maybe?
no, it should be that top one.
Okay.
I don't know why. So it says activating extension when you do it at the bottom there for some reason.
Oh, okay. Didn't notice
Um,
that.
let's see. Just well, I don't know if that'll work. Yeah, okay. So go to your Finder and then navigate to wherever that folder is. So probably in your documents, GitHub kind of stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
And then just double click on the index.html right there. Okay. So there
Okay.
it is. So
That looks weird. Okay.
yeah, I don't like how I just had you do it's like the old school way. but it should accomplish the same thing. So if you look at your browser console now, so just inspect your
Okay.
page. Just right click on your page somewhere. There you go. Go down
Okay.
to inspect. There you go. And then console at the top. There you go.
Okay.
So you're getting the error refuse connect, and then you see CORS error in that top red block there.
Oh, okay. So that's what I should be getting?
Yep, exactly.
Hooray. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
that's
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I maybe with your 5 server, maybe you need to disable and enable the extension again or something. I don't know.
Okay. All right. I'll stop sharing.
Cool.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. So that is like as you go forward and you're like building new projects and things like that, you're gonna get that error, and you're gonna forget this whole thing and beat your head. But don't remember this, because this will save you so much time. But it's super common when you're setting up projects to just forget about this and be like, what the hell's happening? So to fix it, we'll fix it here real quick. All we got to do, we already installed CORS in our server. So let's jump over to our server, and just at the top where we have our middleware, we're just going to add, let me see what the thing is real quick. Okay, we're going to require CORS, right? So we can have that with the rest of our stuff at the top here. I'll put it next to that guy. And then I'll come right back over to that screen just a second after I grab this. Okay, and then in our middleware, we're just going to put that. So just like any other package, we're going to require it to actually be able to use it, making an instance of it with our variable, and then just using it in our middleware. And that's all we have to do. We don't have to use it anywhere else throughout the server or anything. Just having that there tells the server, hey, if you get a request from some random port that you don't know, it's okay. We don't mind. And that's also why we only use it for development in this case. You'll use it in production, but it's different. For us, the whole point is just we want to be able, for our front end locally, to be able to talk to our back end locally. Locally meaning on our machine. Cool.
So will we still get the error?
Nope. As soon as we run our server and then hit the route again, we should not get the error. We can go ahead and I can get my terminal up here and make sure I'm in my server folder, and then do my npm start or npm run dev if you want to use Nodemon. I'll do npm run dev. So then, and if you didn't save, make sure you save your server file beforehand. Then if we go to our browser and we refresh, we should still get a CORS error. Why do I still get a CORS error? Okay, let's try that again. Front end code, where you at? Okay, let me run that again. Well,
I have a question. So
yes.
when I did npm run dev, it said that I was missing the script.
Look to your
I
package.
used it last.
Yeah.
It goes in the server file, right?
What goes in the server file?
Like the dev script that makes it where you can use it. No,
It goes,
environment. It's in the environment.
it's in the package JSON.
Package. Okay.
Yeah, it'll be right here. Now, are you in your server folder when you ran it?
Oh, you know what? I got out of it for a minute. That's
Okay.
fine. Okay.
So let's see why it's not working now. So CORS error failed to fetch expenses. Are y'all getting the same thing? Yeah, okay. Oh, well, no. So the error I made earlier is I didn't await my fetch here, but I don't think that's the reason it's not working. Oh, that was the reason it's not working. There you go. So I didn't have the await here in front of my fetch. I'll get rid of it again. So I have an async function, but I wasn't awaiting the response. So if I put await back here, so just await, and then if I refresh, then I don't have the error anymore. Okay. So it's interesting that it did give that same error on the await though. Because it shouldn't. Well, I get that makes sense because it's the only error we're using. So yeah. That should fix it. So does that fix it for y'all? Wonder if I see if I can bring it back here. Yeah.
I just realized it wasn't working for me because I had 3001 instead of 3000.
Yep. That'll get you.
But now I'm good.
Good. Awesome. Good debugging. Okay. So Claude said the reason that the await, not having that await was actually showing the CORS error is because it's a promise, like I was saying, and it was bringing back a promise, not a response from the server. And so that bubbled up into a CORS error. That's what it did. So a lot of things can affect a lot of other things.
So I've got a question.
Yeah.
I'm having trouble getting my server to restart.
Okay. You want to share?
Yeah, I think I just forgot the exact command.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm in the file.
You're
I thought
not
it
in your
was.
server folder.
Hmm?
You're not in your server folder.
Okay, in the wrong folder.
So I mean in your terminal.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah, and your
All right.
npm run dev
I knew it was
will work
something.
there as well.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
Yep. Anybody got anything else? Any other questions? All good. Cool. Sweet. Well, yeah. So Saturday, we'll get started. We got our CORS errors taken care of, so we can jump right in to building routes. I mean, not building routes, building our functions to hit our API routes / endpoints. And yeah, getting it all connected and all the fun. Yeah. Well, I think Saturday will be good. For again, like I just said, doing all that, and then we'll probably do some more fun, kind of more advanced stuff for week 4, because this like should have taken us all the way to week 4, but y'all have been catching on, and I talk really fast, so I think you know we're ahead, which is good. So then when I give you to Derek, he'll have to up his game, you know. Yeah. Anything else, Wayne? What you got?
Yes, I was wondering, could you show me what you see whenever you look at the browser one more
Yeah.
time?
Before or after the CORS error?
I just want to compare. Um, I guess after
Yep. So after, you should not have an error at all. No
you
red.
shouldn't. Okay,
Yep.
I have errors.
Okay. You want to share real quick and we can
I
look
think
at
it's
them?
the same. It's the same errors, I'm pretty sure.
The CORS.
Yeah,
Did you add the await that I had left out?
I don't think so, no.
So where we're doing the fetch should be an await right in front of it.
Hold on. Response. Await. Mhm. Okay, now it looks like I'm getting one error. It just says uncaught reference error. Load expenses is not um, defined.
Okay. You probably just don't have this function for some reason. We're not going to use these right now, so you could really just comment out these 3.
Okay.
That way you don't have to worry about any of that, and just see if it's clear at that point.
Okay. Okay, it's clear.
Cool. Rock and roll.
All right, thank you.
Yep. No worries. All right. Well, nothing else. Then we'll see you Saturday. Cool.
Thank you, Brian.
Yep. No worries. Later.
Thank you.
Welcome.